change to gallery views. Okay, so guys, I think we can start and go ahead because as the session is limited, we will be running out of the time if we still wait for some more time. So first of all, thank you so much for everyone for registering to this session and being available on a Sunday. So I hope I'm not interrupting your Sunday plans. So first I'll go with my introduction, and I thank Rashmi for being on the session today. So she's also working with me in UiPath. So she also has a similar journey. So first of all, I'll introduce myself. So I have overall 5 years of experience into IT. And I've also, it's not just directly into RPA. I've worked in different domains. I've worked as a risk analyst as well, and later I've jumped and worked as a quality analyst, and then as a manual tester, and then I worked as a automation tester in Java and Python, and later I switched into RPA. So throughout my journey, I've learned different programming languages, but trust me guys, RPA is the one thing that really worked for me, because I could really feel that happiness and the satisfaction that I get working in RPA. So I feel that's my thing, especially in UiPath, because the challenges we face every day, and the satisfaction we get out of dealing with all these things, that's I feel so happy when I finish these kind of things. So today we are trying to focus as many questions that we can answer you and help you if you are facing the similar kind of issues. So I'm passing over to Rashmi, and you can go ahead and give your introduction to everyone.
Thanks, Harika. And I just also wanted to say, like, I have like kind of a similar experience what Harika is having. I'm overall like 5 years of experience, and I also started my journey as a manual tester. I did it for I guess for 4 or 5 months, and then I got to know like automation is something. So I just moved forward. I taken a step, and I have moved forward to the automation, and I have learned so many things over there. And then again later I got to know about this RPA technology, and then like I moved with the RP technology. So I must say like if you find something, and if you feel like some technology is changing, don't have that fear it, but just try to just learn it, and you can jump over it, because I also have kind of a same journey over it, and literally working with the technology, and that is still trending technology that will work a lot.
Thank you so much, Rashmi, for your introduction. So guys, I have gone through all the reasons that you have provided in the form before joining the registration session, like during registration. So I have actually made a small synopsis, like, to address all the things that you are facing, especially the common ones. So I can go ahead addressing all the common things that you're facing, and later if you still feel like you have some questions, or something that we are not addressing, and you can put up your questions, and we are there to answer. So I'll be picking up few things from the reasons that you have given, and Rashmi will be adding up her points as well, so that I think we can first go with these common issues. So from the reasons you have given, I have segregated it like, there are some students who are registered for this. So basically, if I say students, they are from different backgrounds. Their questions are like, I'm from mechanical background. I don't know the programming. How can I actually, fit into this? How can I get a job? How can I crack an interview? Because I don't know anything technically regarding RPA. So that's a question. And something related to that, and this is a common scenario I've made out of it. And few people, or like who had a similar story, they're working in a support team, or as a quality analyst and something like that, and they wanted to switch into RPA. So how they can do that switch from non-technical to technical. And few people are having knowledge on RPA, and they wanted to have a clear path, like how they can expand their skill set. So there are some people who have asked, like, how can I switch? I'm as a business analyst, I wanted to switch as a developer, or I'm as a developer, I want to switch as a solution architect. So these are some people, they have these questions around them. And few are asking like how to crack the interview, how to, what are the challenges that we face when we do this switching, especially during the process of interview. So overall, from these things, I would like to address from the beginning, like the students who have, let's consider, they don't have any knowledge because they are from mechanical background, right? So let's consider from that case. So I would say to target, if you don't have any knowledge on UiPath, I would say start it from UiPath Academy because that's the best source, because it's an official documentation you can find. For every small activity that we use, that's the official documentation. And also, many people are saying that I'm not from technical background. Guys, I'm also from electronics background. I don't have any technical knowledge before I actually come into IT industry. So it just starts from somewhere, right? And also, RPA UiPath is not a platform where we have to code in a lot. It's a low code platform. So basically, it's not a big of challenge, but there are some ways, or there's some approaches that you can follow, wherein that will help you. So basically, UiPath Academy. So you can, if you are a beginner, I would suggest you to go with foundation training. Okay, so first finish your foundation training, and then you can go for the advanced training, and then that will help you to gain the knowledge. And let's say if you wanted to go with, like, mostly that will be the documentation part. You, whenever you learn a concept, I would suggest you to implement it. Let's say you're learning one something's about Excel, so try to implement it in different use cases, like how you can apply it, and not just sticking to your knowledge. I will suggest you to make a groups, like at least two people or three people. Try to make a group and try to connect with them often and do knowledge sharing, because it's more of a logical thinking. The more you try to connect with people, there are different approaches that you can come up with. See, I will think in one way, Rashmi thinks in another way. So if we both connect, I can, if she can share what she know and I can share what I know, so that I can ask multiple questions to her, which can trigger her IQ, right? So that's how you can make small groups, you can discuss, and I think that will definitely expand your skills. That will add on one more approach to the way that you think. So I can say, because that worked for me, because I used to learn like that, especially bachelor's. If you're from BTech, we do group studies, right? So that helps a lot to think, approach. It will help you to get multiple approaches how you can solve something. So that worked for me. I hope it can help you. You can also try it out. And I would say, once after you do all these foundation trainings or advanced trainings, so definitely you will be coming up with good knowledge. And then we have different YouTube channels, right? So I can suggest you some. It's not biasing, but definitely, I have seen a good content over there. If as Niklesh is there on this call, I can say Excel Cult is one of good channel that has the best use cases I have seen. And there are many YouTube channels, but I don't want it to bias, but these are out of my experience. So I'm suggesting you can go, once after you learn the concept, try to apply in some use case. So that will definitely help you expand your knowledge. So I could say, for the students who don't have, let's say, who doesn't have IT experience, like technical knowledge, or who was from mechanical industry or electronics stream, so they can try to put in this way. That will definitely help you. That's what I feel. So Rashmi, do you wanted to add anything from my points?
I miss you. Pretty much, you have covered everything and what people has to start and something. So I guess all the points in case. And I really like your point, like of do sharing knowledge or something. This is one of the best key which I have noticed and I have personally followed in my journey. Okay, I still remember when I was just starting, there was one guy who already know everything and I was not knowing anything. And because when you start something, it's always a difficult. It's not about UI path but about anything and in any technology or in any terms outside, I will say, right? But you have to keep consistent. I also remember I used to take my copy and when I used to make flowchart or something, I used to go to people like how this happened, how you do it. And to start doing that, start talking, start seeing how people make logics and how they implement flowcharts and all. So once you will be okay with that, then it will help you really a lot. And as we say, consistency is the key. So never give up, just do that. And UiPath community though is always there. I have never seen any community like UiPath community. You just have a question, raise it in a forum or in LinkedIn, or connect directly to the message box, inbox, or comment on their YouTube channel. You definitely get a reply, and that is too in very few seconds or something.
Correct, correct. Thanks for picking that point, because forum is one such platform where if you ask your question, I definitely strongly believe that your question will be answered in no time. So that's very good thing that we have with UiPath. And also try to attend as many meetups as possible. Try to register yourself. You can try to get the updates, and what is happening around, what are the new features that are adding up. So always you will be getting updated all the time, so that will definitely help you to being consistent and to not lose your interest. So that's one thing. And later, like, I would like to point out people who have little knowledge already. And also, so thank you, Nikhil, for sharing the details about YouTube channels. So yeah, I wanted to point about people who wants to switch from non-technical to technical, because that's a challenge, because you've already started from somewhere and you've been there for some time, and then you see something really happening, or you're not feeling that satisfaction in your job and you wanted to switch, but you don't know how you can do that. So that's a really big challenge. So I can say one thing, try to as I've already said, try to learn. This is a learning path, definitely that would be the same. So if you have reached some place, so try to see if your company is having any internal movement, so that will definitely help you. Because I am someone who have done in this way, because in my previous organization I have done an internal movement, because when I go outside and search for a job, definitely they will ask my experience, do you have any experience in this? So if I don't have, definitely that's a no, right? So try to check if you have any internal movements. Try to work with the RPA team in your company, and try to see what they are doing, how a live project goes, and how to try to keep in touch with them, how it actually happens. Show some interest, enthusiasm, and try to see how you can automate it, and work with them. That will definitely help. And talk to your manager, that if you wanted to move internally, and show your skills, try to prove yourself about your skills. So that will definitely help you to do this movement. Apart from that, if you wanted to crack outside, so definitely I can say, before to which you should have some projects in hand. So the other option I would suggest you, if internal movement is not possible for someone, or it's taking too long of time, try to go for freelancing jobs outside. So try to put in your work through a freelancer. You have many freelancing sites, right? And also we have channels, sorry, not channels, in LinkedIn we have pages which will provide freelancing jobs. Okay, so you can go in there and you can do like contribute your work. You can understand what you can do. As I said, if you form as a group, then definitely you may not deliver the project as a whole, but you can split the project. If you have one person who is already experienced in your team, that will help you to gain so much knowledge. So you can put those projects under your experience, and you can crack a job. So that's how, so another way you can switch your job from non-technical to technical. That will definitely help you. Definitely there will be a lot of hard work involved, because after office hours doing the freelancing, it's not an easy job. But this is not an easy way. But we have to make tune ourselves that after this struggle there is really something that I'm going to achieve. So that will definitely help you to stay consistent and reach your goals. So that's a hard truth we have to accept. Because I really believe, when I was assigned in one RPA project in my previous company, I was doing QA job and I was doing RPA job. I was finishing my QA work very quickly, so that I can work more time on RPA. So that's definitely tiring, but I felt happy working on RPA, because that's one thing that making me happy. So at the end of the day, I was feeling that satisfaction. So your views, Rashmi, for people who wants to switch from non-tech to tech?
Again, I would say you have almost covered everything. And when I started, I didn't switch it like, since in my internal company there might be situation that they don't have RPA or they are starting it. And if you're working with a startup, or if you're working, but no need to worry about that. As Harika mentioned, either do the freelancing, or if not freelancing also you don't get, because you don't have any experience or something. I will suggest there are the few websites which are particularly made to practice the RPA thing. And if you actually practice those, means if you actually work on those things, means you will learn everything almost. And what else you need to crack an interview. So I will suggest like RPA challenge is there, and it's just not just filling the form. There are like multiple tabs over there, and people do recommend like automate make my trip or something like that. Will let you know the use cases. If you want, you can just DM us or something like that. But if you do practice, you learn things. Do practice whatever UiPath says. Like there are also so many practice things are there. Do practice from that, and then you will be ready, good to go.
That's great point actually. So I would like to answer the next question, which is how to crack interviews. So again, I'm going to give one more hard truth. So first of all, it's not easy, especially from non-tech to tech or people who are from not having computers or IT background. Because I have faced it, so definitely it's not easy. But it's not that you just prepare and you go to interview, and it doesn't be a day like they will ask you everything or they'll be impressed by you and they'll offer you a job, right? So it's like you go to an interview, you try to understand what you have to if there is something that you don't, you have to keep it in your list, you have to work on it, and you will be better for the next interview. So that is also a learning process. You have to consider that also as a part of learning, right? So let's say if I go for an interview, I don't think that I know everything, or I can get the job. Still, there is something which I don't know, right? So that is also an opportunity to learn. So let's say going to interview is not something you go with full hopes and then you come up disappointed and you think that I can't do it. It's like you just go with a thought like I'm going to learn something new today, or I'm going to get a job on a very positive day. It's going to happen. So let's say if you go for 10 interviews, you're going to learn 10 more things, right? Because it's always something new that you have to learn every day. And then that process will help you to be better. And finally, on one day, definitely it will, you can crack the job. So that's one thing you have to learn. And also make sure whenever you're doing the projects or something, make sure your resume has all the valid information. Don't keep anything or any project that you have never really worked on, because that's a question paper you're giving to them and asking them to ask you the same questions. So if you are giving them something which you don't know, then definitely you will be caught at one or other point, right? So make sure whatever the projects that you put in, everything is valid and it's faithful. So then definitely I think after few attempts you will definitely crack the job. And particularly about the tips for interview, like to face how the questions, how to answer something which we don't know about or something like that, we can make a video separately on it. But on high level, just consider that as a learning process. Don't go with the hope that I'm going to practice interview, or don't get disappointed when you couldn't do that, because that happens with everyone. We cannot crack, especially when this movement is happening, like non-tech to tech, or if people as a fresher. Like freshers also face a lot of issues, because first thing, they don't have experience, and second thing, they're not from computers or IT background. So they face a lot of issues. So at least as a experienced people, we have corporate experience, right? So make sure that you consider this as a positive thing and try to learn things every day from out of it. So definitely I think one day you will be better when you're going to interview, and that will help you to crack the job. So your views, Rashmi?
Yeah, definitely the same. You have, I'm every time saying the same, but yeah, this is the one. Like you just learn it, and then you can try to crack it. But never give hopes. Just try, like giving it, and because every time you're gonna learn something new. So like don't think like I'm not there. I'm not there. Maybe what questions they have asked, you can come practice, and then you can shoot it later. So
Yeah.
that will happen.
So that's
And
why.
if you guys,
Yeah, please go.
sorry. Yeah,
Please.
I was just asking if you guys also have anything, you can feel free to ask, either unmute or either just write in the chat so we can address that.
Yeah. So one more thing is, like, if that's the best way, you can if you have a group, so everyone can share their questions and share your thoughts, and that will help you to learn things quickly. Like instead of being one in a roadmap, you can have 5 people who can share different things, and that will help you to grow very quick. So that's one thing I really faced. So that's why I'm just pointing it more and more. So yeah, I think I have answered pretty much. There's one thing. What will be the challenges that we face during job switch? I feel this is similar like how we will have to crack the interview, because these are more or less like similar kind of challenges that we face. Because if you're from non-technical or doesn't have a computer's degree, then definitely the experiences and people expect from us is different. So I feel we have to learn every day, that consistency as Rashmi mentioned, and also you know learning as a group and learning from different people, and making certifications and following the community forum, everything that will definitely help you to come up with new knowledge and expand your skill set. So I have answered everything that you have put up as a reasons for joining the session. So apart from that, if you feel like anything that any question that you have in particular, you can go ahead and unmute your mic and just put your question.
Okay, you have two questions in the chat. Please look into it.
Going ahead.
You want me to read?
Yeah.
Okay, it's like, hi, I have worked in IFS application and related to ERP. As I switch to RPA UiPath, what will be good to go to digital transformation related project doing companies or manufacturing ERP like SAP automation related companies as fresher to UiPath?
Okay, you have worked in IFS applications that related to ERP. So you're saying that you already worked, but you wanted to go as a fresher. So I didn't understand the question clearly, but I can say you already have a ERP experience. So it's completely your interest. So I could see there is some other thing that you're asking. Digital transformation. So it's like two things that you have in front of you, whichever is best for you, which gives you the more satisfaction, or on which thing you are good at, right? So you can choose any of the thing, because SAP is also a very good thing in automation, that I can say. But I'm not pretty sure how good you are at two different things, like the digital transformation and SAP, automating SAP. So if you think you're good at both, and if you're not able to choose, and try to see which is making you feel happy by working, because end of the day you should feel happy when you're working, right? You should not feel burdened. So try to see like which gives you more happiness, or like that. But if you're asking related to jobs, like how will be the openings and all these things, I can say it's not like automation is constrained, it's not like you have only opportunities on SAP. If you learn automation, you can spread your knowledge in different areas. It's not confined only to SAP. You can do API, UI, many other things. So if you love automation, you're gonna love everything. So I would say that as you asked about, if you ask about opportunities, it's a if you go into a company now, if you get SAP, or you never know what project you're gonna get. So I cannot say that only this automation you're gonna try or something like that. But if you love automation, you can have opportunities for everything available out there. So I can say that. The certification in UiPath Academy helps in interview if we don't have any real-time project experience. So I can say one thing: certification is just a the proof, I can say, evidence that you have a knowledge. But if you don't have real-time project experience, there is no use of certification, because I have many certifications with me. But when I went and attended the interviews, I barely see someone asking me for certification, because in interview, maybe in the JD, they will ask like you should have the certification. But if you don't have the real-time experience, there is no point you hold the certification. So I would suggest you have some real-time experience. So I said like go for freelancing projects, or try to make up groups and try to work on some freelancing projects or something like that. So that will help you to gain the project experience. Or if you can get some experience by moving internally, that will also help you. So Rashmi, what do you say?
Yeah, that's like why you have covered something. I'm just reading the next question actually, like what they were. If you don't mind, I'll take one question which people generally ask, and I have seen like two questions which are related to that only. How much programming language one should know when they are doing the real-time project? So let me tell you something. And as Harika already mentioned in her previous talk, like it's a low-code platform. Okay, if you know the programming language, that means it's a cherry on your cake. Okay, you have something added plus point in your hand. And if you don't know, no need to fear or something like that. UiPath is made in such a deal. I won't say the UiPath, even the tools has made in such a way like you can just go ahead and start do the automation without knowing anything. Okay, and the logical thinking should be the must. Okay, you should know how to create the logic and something. And if you know the programming language, that will add you like just a better part, because you may understand things better or something like that. But if you don't know, then it's not that difficult. And I won't say that you have to take a coaching and you have to learn and you have to do something. It's a very minimum type of a coding or something like that. That's just basics. I would say just like a syntax, and you can go ahead, and even if you like just you should be good at how to Google the things. If you are good at that, you can achieve anything.
That's a great point, Bhumi. So I think Karthik also is also having a similar question. Like I have 2 years of experience in UiPath. I'm familiar with activities, but not good at .NET, and I don't know where to start it from and C# basics. So I think Rashmi's answer would explain this better, because okay, guys, it's showing we just have only 10 minutes. So quickly, I will answer the questions, and yeah, we can answer the questions. So I think that's good. And I have good practice with UiPath for nearly about a year, but I'm from DBA background, but is managed. So guys, it's not mandatory to learn, coding with UiPath, as Rashmi said. You just have to be good at logical thinking. If some scenario comes, how you gonna approach it? So that's the only thing. If you don't know, the programming language, try to learn the basics, like what is .NET, what OOPS concepts are. Try to learn from it. That's it. But it's not mandatory that someone will not provide you a job if you don't have any of the programming language. So try to learn the basics, but it's mostly about the logical thinking, especially with the UiPath. Opportunity to work for an MNC as UiPath developer. Okay, congratulations, Arvind. I could see that you got an opportunity. How much programming skills? Okay, it's the same question. My current organization is using Community Edition, and I'm only one RP developer in my organization. Does experience in Community Edition will be a challenging to face interview? So if it's a community edition, then the deployment where you are moving it into production. So that that in real time we have to move it into production. So that has to be a licensed version, right? So maybe you might be missing that experience. So I cannot say that it would be a challenge or not, but if you ask me, maybe that can be a challenge, because you will not be having that production experience, right? So that can be. So you have to know how the things happen in production and how you have to handle when something goes wrong and all this. Also, what are the candidates for automation, that is to help manual work automate? I didn't get your question, Shubham. Can you reiterate it, or you can unmute your mic and talk about it?
He's asking like what are the RPA opportunities, how to identify, like process, which process can be automated.
What are the candidates for automation?
Basically, I'm trying to understand how do you identify a case, right, for automation case?
So how you will understand that if this process is feasible for automation or not? That's what your question is, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Is it? See, my understanding is anything which is manual in nature and it will save in terms of cost and time. Yeah, that's the candidate. But first of all, identifying out of, as somebody was mentioning, right? Somebody had a digital transformation and so many things to choose, but which one to, I think the immediate answer, my thought is whatever brings value to the business, that's important. But from a given standpoint, out of a, do you do a ranking or something? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Okay, so
How
I
you,
understand your question. So let's say if there is any process, first, before we actually do the development, we do certain steps, like we do requirement gathering, and then we do the feasibility. So during feasibility, we will try to check the process. Like let's say if it's an UI automation or API automation, there will be some feasibility, or we may face some issues. So we will check if the whole process can be automated or not, or if the whole process cannot be automated, if UiPath has any restrictions or something such way, then we will see if at least a partial, like part of the process can be automated and some other part can be, taken for attended automation. So we can divide the process like that before we actually step in for the development. So this is actually the process that goes in, before we actually go and, start the development process. So it I can say it comes with maybe experience. We can see how the feasibility can be done, and if we know what are the challenges that we face, there also we can that will help you to give the timeline, like how long will it gonna take and all these things. So I can say if you're familiar with the UiPath, what it which process can be automated by using this, and what are the activities that we have, and if it's feasible for or not. From that, we can identify if the process is good to go to automate the manual thing. What type of use cases and how many to be added to profile while attending an interview, as questions come from. Okay, so this is not something you have to go ahead with. You have to put these many use cases and all, something like that. It's like you have to put in whatever you have knowledge on. Let's say you have worked on 10. Okay, try to pick the best 5. Okay, which will impress the interviewer, like which is trending in the market and which is you have complete grip on. Because once after you keep top 5, but in the top 5 you're not confident, there's no point putting. Let's say I have done chatbot, let's say I keep chatbot, but if I'm not 100% sure, there's no point putting it on top, right? Because if you put something which is trending, then interviewer eyes goes on that, and if you couldn't answer, that will give a negative impact. So try to see what is demanded in the market and how strong you are in it. Try to put them on your resume. Thank you, Nikhil, for providing these websites. So guys, please go through these sites, because that will definitely help you to find the openings in RPA, because these sites are always being updated by Gauss Pasha. So you can find all these like whatever the UiPath jobs that are available. So please do go and try to follow up with these sites whenever you are going for a job search. Starting your
there's one question like regarding the package and all. If you can address that, it will help.
Sorry, which one? What can you read a question?
Let me read for you. I want to know what is the maximum growth in terms of package, or we will get similar kind of package, the data science or full stack developer, if developer a good skill set or any other tool programming language.
Okay, maximum growth in terms of package. Okay, this is the
Question.
question. And I don't know if I can talk about this in this platform, because there is no such rule like what is the fixed package or maximum package. It all depends on your skill set, okay, and also the market rates. So when you're going for interview, I'll suggest you go and do a Glassdoor review, like how much this company is providing, what are the expectations that they have from you. So first do that minimum review or research from your side, and then it also depends on your skill set, how strongly you can go in and demand that I have this much strong skills and I want this package. So it depends on all these things, company, your skill set, and their budget. So there are so many things that are involved, so I cannot give the the number for you here. Could you share any tips on how to get freelancing work? Okay, so this is again very good question, Vinod. Freelancing job is something like, I can say there is a lot of competition. When I was doing the freelancing job, especially, you can actually try and check for a vendor if you know anyone. Otherwise, freelancing.com and Upwork are two good freelancing websites. But you have to spend minimum time searching for a project, bidding for them, and trying to follow up with them. And it's again luck also, because it's not most of the time, even though if you spend a lot of time also, there are chances that you may not get a call. So you have to spend time and write a good review, or about your project experience, about your expertise and all. So then that will help you. Okay guys, I don't know, we are running out of time. Any idea, is there an integration solution with leading solution like ERP, SAP? I actually didn't get the question again. Sorry, Shubham. Can you explain it? I have.
What I'm trying to say is there an integration component like UiPath or whatever RPA, so that I can do like there's a bridge, right, by which you can do an integration with
To interrupt you, because I could see you're just left with 1 minute. I'm really sorry for that. Maybe I can reach out to you personally on it. And I would like to end this session. I think we've answered all the common questions. And Rashmi, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts also. And guys, first of all, thank you so much for joining this session and making it a success. I believe you are happy with this. If you're happy, just go into the LinkedIn page. Below our post, you can mention your feedback. That will really help us, and also help other people to know about the session, and they can also view it on the channel. And Shubham, I'll reach out to you personally and I'll answer your question. Don't worry about it. So guys, thank you so much for joining. And because as the session is only for 40 minutes, I have to end this up. So Rashmi, your thoughts?
Yeah, thanks for joining. And yeah, you can reach out to me, Harika, and Nikhilesh, anyone like you feel like to do, and we'll be happy to help you guys. And we'll conduct the session more often. So stay connected.
Yeah, you can just mention in the LinkedIn about your views and all. That will definitely help others also. And you can also connect with the people who are there in this session. So you can form a group, and